What's going on, guys? Smoke here. How's everyone doing out there? With regards to that RE8 happening video I did a while back, according to an article on Biohazard Declassified, there has been a good couple of updates to those rumors since then. As always, rumors are rumors and need to be taken with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything you read. Also, the opinions given within this video are mine and mine alone. Please feel free to disagree with me if you so choose. Right then, let's get into it. Exploring occultism. Occultism will play a big part, but there is no magic. There is a cult that worships the abominations created from the new virus. At first, there are hints at something supernatural, but it is explained by the virus, which is in the air causing hallucinations from time to time. Honestly, I'm really glad to hear that one. The way they were describing it before, with the likes of werewolves and ghosts, RE8 sounded like it was turning into some dark fantasy game. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for dark fantasy. I love games like the Soul series and Bloodborne. But Resi should remain in the realm of real-world horror. Well, if you could call it that. But you guys get what I mean, right? The antagonists. The main villain of the game is a man called Alan R., a mysterious count living in a castle. He is the leader, or at least a high-ranking member of the Connections. Alan is also mentioned in an article published by Game Rant on May 15th. The secondary villain is Natalia Alex Wesker. There are also files hinting that Blue Umbrella is not as clean-cut as they portray themselves to be. Okay, so Alan R. sounds something akin to Osmond Sadler, or at least Ramon Salazar, from Resi 4. Different organization, same shtick. As far as Natalia / Alex Wesker, so that's Natalia Corda with Alex Wesker's consciousness imprinted on her from Revelations 2, for any of you that are wondering. And yeah, that's kinda cool. I really enjoyed the RE Revelation series, so nice to see a villain from there getting some attention. Not sure how much screen time she's gonna get if you consider Albert Wesker was technically the secondary villain in Resi 4 and he appeared for like, what, 5 seconds at the end? But maybe I'm comparing this game a little too much to Resi 4. And then there's Blue Umbrella. That's awesome. In an attempt to redeem themselves, Umbrella became Blue Umbrella, charged with combating bioweapons for the Connections crimes. And then turns out to be evil again. Nice. New playable character, Emily. Parts of the game are played as a mountain resident called Emily, a woman in her late 20s who aids Ethan. She is looking for her father. Emily grew up in the village and will assist Ethan and later work with him to find her father and escape. Okay, so confirmed secondary playable character, good enough, I suppose. Nothing surprising though. The flashlight will play a large role. You have a flashlight, and the game is often pretty dark, forcing you to use it, akin to many other games that are in the same genre. The flashlight can run out of batteries, but slowly recharges by itself over time. Alright, so a flashlight, kinda like the flashlight in RE2 Remake then, and pretty much every other survival horror game. I wonder how long that battery's gonna last though, and for that matter, how long it's going to take to recharge. Many great games have been hindered by one poorly conceived mechanic. I guess we'll have to see. The locations. Aside from the titular village stylized as VIIIAGE, Resident Evil 8 is set to explore other locations such as castles, caves, and forests. It will have a larger focus on outdoor locations than the rest of the series. So basically Resident Evil 4 again. Cool. The child and evil Chris Redfield. Mia and Ethan have a child due to their infections during Resident Evil 7. It is deformed, and by all accounts, not a normal child. They live a pretty lonely life in a remote place and try to hide their child. However, Chris Redfield breaks into Ethan's house, ending in the execution of Ethan's mutant child, followed by shooting Mia. Apparently, he is operating on his own, and that is not part of an official operation. When Ethan wakes up, Chris is gone. He did not leave Mia to die but bandaged her. There are some shadowy figures in the room. Ethan is abducted there and then wakes up in the village. What? Yeah. Damn, that's pretty dark for Resident Evil. I remember the original rumors portraying Chris as an antagonist too. I guess it's true then. Well, we'll just have to wait for the game to come out to see his motives then, won't we? Ethan's trick. Ethan has to make his way through the mountains. There have been disappearances in this region that are unexplained. You will also start off defenseless before getting your first weapon a bit into playing. Okay, so once again, like loads of other survival horror games then. I remember in Silent Hill it didn't take too long to get a weapon, although you never know, it could be a giant pain. The enemies of Resident Evil 8. The main enemies are zombies and pale human-like creatures that resemble Gunados. Dogs, wolves, and enemies that resemble lickers do appear as well. There are zombies with swords, knives, and clubs. They appear mainly in the later section of the game where you enter the castle. These werewolf-like enemies we are going to refer to going forward as Beastmen. Judging by the description, it seems to be more fitting, and it seems their build is more disgusting than normal enemies. This seems to match up with the description of the game being a serious departure and the darkest and most gruesome entry in the series thus far, as reported by Aesthetic Gamer, aka Dusk Golem. Finally, the real meat and potatoes of any Resident Evil game, the enemies. Well, the good news is that they said zombies, and enemies that resemble lickers. So here's hoping we're going back to the old Resi reanimated corpses and mutation days. My real gripe with the later Resis, not including the recent remakes obviously, was the departure from horror to action, and like how I think it should have stayed third person. I could rant on about it for days, so I'll just save that for another video. Maybe. Either way, the enemy lineup does sound pretty interesting. Also, there were 2 pieces of concept art included. One of the which I mentioned in the previous RE8 Rumors video, and one of a couple random enemies. Not much to go on, really, but news is news, I guess. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and a special thanks for those who stuck with me for this long. I'm sure this got a little long. I really hope you enjoyed this update, and feel free to let me know your thoughts on Resi 8. Opinions are always appreciated. As always, I'll leave that link down in the description, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Dot Matrix out.